What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Trout Wrangler Podcast. Today is Friday, December 13th, and it is about 2 p.m. We're sitting here in the studio. Not really a studio. It's just my unused kitchen table in the corner of our kitchen. It also doubles as my tying desk. But we're in here with the boy Ricky today. You want to say hi to the folks, Ricky? Look at these guys. Got anything to say? More? You need anything else? Not a man of many words today. Um, but we got a lot to talk about today. Didn't have a um episode last weekend. I just didn't really have time to sit down and record anything, nor did I have anything to really talk about. But today, I actually was kind of waiting for today to talk about some things. We went, me and one of my friends, Kenny, went to the Pigeon River on last Sunday. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Um, and a little bit of something going on up at the French Broad River. I am in a fly fishing Facebook group, and something came across that involved a fly shop outfitter service that I will not name, just in order to not tarnish anybody's reputation, because honestly, I think this is just a one-off thing. Because this is honestly probably one of the better fly shops in the Western North Carolina area. They've done a lot for folks recovering from Hurricane Helene. It's just an all-around good shop, good people. So I don't really want to tarnish that name. So let's get into it. First things first, we have a few things to go over as a thing. Just a reminder, tomorrow, September 14th, up in Asheville, we've got the Hunter Banks Fly Shop. They're doing their weight. I want to say, hold on, I'm gonna just look it up. Hunter Banks Fly Fishing. They are having a big winter event. I wish they had it on their site. Let me see if they got it on their site. Winter sale. Here it is. So, I'm just gonna screen share this quick. Let's see. Hunter Banks Fly Fishing. Here it is. So, Hunter Banks is having, that's a pretty sweet shirt, but that's not what I was looking for. Hunter Banks is having their Waiting in a Winter Wonderland holiday party tomorrow from 12 to 4. You got a casting contest, live music, beer, snacks, holiday specials, whiskey tasting, just a bunch of good stuff. Sponsored by a lot of good companies: Fish Pond, Sims, Airflow, Rio, and then also Highland Brewery. Also, Highland Brewery, great beer if you ever want to try it. If you're in the North or South Carolina area, your local Harris Teeter will probably have it. The Daycation is probably one of my favorites, except summer of 2019, I probably drank enough Daycation for me to get sick of it. Had a few rough nights on Daycation as well, so it's probably another reason why I don't drink much Daycation anymore. But all raffle benefits from this event will go to Beloved Asheville, or Beloved Asheville. I can't tell if that's a one word or if there's a little space in there. So Beloved Asheville. I want to say it's beloved. There's that that learning disability getting at me there. Can't tell. I think it's beloved. Not sure. Um, Reading, not my strong suit. I can read, so hold off on the jokes. I can read. Math, different story. Can't do math to save my fucking life. But like I said, go check out this event, Hunter Banks Fly Shop up in Asheville. Just type it in on Google or your Apple Maps, and you can get on up there. Enjoy the events. Go spend some money. Raffles on stuff like that. Go buy a ton of raffle tickets because it goes to a great cause, whether it's beloved or beloved. Still a great cause. Toy drive to Trisha's kids. There's a lot of good stuff going on there tomorrow from 12 to 4. So go give it go check it out. Seems the dog wants to get down. There you go, big pal. All right, but go check it out. Grab a few beers, maybe buy some stuff, eat some snacks. But either way, go check it out. Hunter Banks Fly Fishing. We will stop screen sharing that. But let's get into our Pigeon River recap. Honestly, like if you listen to episodes I've had before, sorry, had to take a sip of coffee. If you listen to previous episodes, my younger brother and I have actually went to the Pigeon River right at the end of summer. And we went out and caught 60 fish. Like it was boom, like nothing. My brother's first time fly fishing. I got something stuck on my eye. Trying to get that out there. It's my brother's first time fly fishing, and picked it up pretty quick. We ended up catching 60. And I left there. I was like, damn, that's pretty freaking good. I was like, 60 fish. I'm like, fuck. I mean, unbelievable. I was like, it's not like that all the time, because I thought it wasn't like that all the time. Just simple as that. I was like, anytime you catch 60 fish, consider yourself lucky. That's a pretty good day. Until I went this time. Last Sunday, I'm talking freaking cold as hell. In the morning, got a little bit of a late start. But just cold as shit in the morning. Part of me was kind of happy we got a late start because it was so cold in the morning. I walked out of my apartment getting ready to go meet my buddy Kenny, and I was like, damn, it's chilly. It's going to be a long fucking day. But you know what? It ended up not being a long day. It ended up probably being one of the best days of fishing I've had in a long time. So we get there from basically start of my day to the end of my day. I'm talking my buddy. Not mad at all. Like I said, I was actually kind of happy we kind of got a late start. So I'm not pissed at all. I know Kenny listens to this show, and I don't want to make him feel bad. So I know you're listening to this. Don't feel bad. I told you 1,000 times. Don't worry about it. It was just good to get up into the mountains and fish and kind of get away from our female companions for a little bit. So we got a little bit of a late start. Wanted to leave it around 6. Ended up leaving it at probably 7:30, which put us at the river around shit. I want to say we got up there like 10:30, 11. I think 10:30. And going into it, I was like, "Oh fuck, we're late. There's gonna be 8 bazillion people out there." Another big thing when you go up there is if you're fishing delayed harvest, which we were, you got to park at a church. They have church service on Sunday, so parking was going to be a clusterfuck. But we got up there, made a few stops on the way up. On the way up, after like an energy drink, a cup of coffee, you're gonna have to stop at some point to take a load off Annie, and we had to stopped probably trying to think of where it would be right um right outside of Asheville, between Asheville and Hendersonville, maybe. I don't fucking know. I've stopped at this McDonald's 8 bazillion times, but it was Mills River. I believe it was Mills River. That McDonald's, there's like an Exxon, and then there's McDonald's connected to it. Um, Sorry, I keep looking down. I have a what's it? What, I don't even know what this is fucking called, and I should. Um, Not a bobbin. Um, Shit. I don't use it all that much, so I probably don't know the term for it. I just like to call it a little staff. But yeah, it's in Mills River. Sorry, I got on an ADD rant there. But we stopped in Mills River, got us a McGriddle, a couple hash browns, and then a drink for the ride. I got an energy drink. It's running on my second one of the day, and it wasn't even, I want to say 9:30 yet. Not too great, but it's not the worst thing either. But we stopped there. Uh, Went into the gas station. Probably stopped for about, I want to say 15 minutes. Went into that little Exxon to get our drinks. The old woman behind the counter, oddly enough, old lady. Surprised she was even working in there, but she tried to sell us Delta 8. Just little mini edible things, and I was like, nah, not happening. Not happening one bit. Not that I didn't want to, but the Delta 8 thing kind of scares me a little bit. And I am actually looking for new jobs. So it's been a minute since I did that. Probably a good 4 years. But stopped there. Lady tried to sell us some Delta 8. I'm like, yep, nope, not not trying to indulge in your Delta 8 potentially fent gummies. Not happening. Walked out of there, uh, and then got back on the road. Kept driving, and honestly, that ride up there is like 2 hours and 45 minutes, and it feels like an eternity. It feels way longer than 2 hours and 45 minutes, especially if you were driving. So we get up there and get all my waders on. Took us a little bit of time to rig up. My buddy was actually working with a brand new rod, so had to do all that. It was actually a Bass Pro Dogwood Canyon rod, so I swear by that Bass Pro Dogwood Canyon rod. But Bass Pro, anybody there, if you are listening to this, for the love of God, please put a tapered fly line on there, so you can just put the line through, go through the fly line, and then take your leader and then cinch it down, so you don't have to tie like a fucking knot or do a nail knot. It's cold out. It's cold as hell outside. I don't want to be fucking around tying knots. I already have fine motor delay as it is. When it's 28 degrees out, that gets significantly worse. So Bass Pro, if you're listening to this, tapered fly line on the Dogwood Canyon. Don't say I ever told you. You'll probably have a lot more pleased customers if you do that. But get up there, get in the river probably 10:45, 11. Immediately start fishing. Went down to a spot where me and my little brother did most of the damage. When we were there previously, caught one fish off the rip. And then I realized Kenny kind of went on a lull, wasn't catching many. I was throwing a woolly bugger. Kenny was throwing a red San Juan worm. I thought the San Juan worm was going to tear him up right off the rip. That's what me and my little brother caught most of them on a squirmy when we were up there before. But, I don't like fishing memories, but sometimes, when you're fly fishing and you're somewhere, you get in, same spot, not really the same kind of weather, but same spot, it's hard to not fish memories. It's like when you're out there fishing, say you're in one of your favorite spots, you're up there, and you're trying to go discover new water. You're going up, trying to fish stuff you don't usually fish, but you go by your favorite spot where you say caught a 20-inch rainbow. It's gonna be damn hard not to stop that Ford F-150 and pull it into that pull off and try and throw a damn streamer in front of those fish and catch a 20-inch rainbow again. So stop there. I was like, it's where it was. I know sometimes they get here, and it could be completely different. But this is where we're going to start because I'm familiar with this area and I've caught fish here before. So we started there, went down, and my buddy wasn't really catching any. I made my way downstream. There's a guy down there. I was talking to him, hanging out, talking college football. He's from Knoxville, so we're talking a little bit of college football playoffs. Talking a little bit of who the hell is going to get in the 12-team playoff. Is Bama, SMU? Because that day, the college football playoff board was going to be choosing the 12-team playoff. So, we were talking a little bit of ball, catching some fish. I had caught two sitting down there. I'd whistled up to my buddy Kenny. I was like, get down here. The guide said it was fine. I know some of you damn like Facebook fly fishing enthusiasts be like, oh, you just ran in on the guy like that. I first asked him if it was okay. I always do that. It's like, hey man, you mind if I fish here? I'm not gonna really encroach on your area. And he's like, yeah man, come on down. So we went, talked a little bit. Then my buddy Kenny came down, asked him if it was all right if my buddy Kenny came down too. He's like, dude, you don't have to ask. It's like, it's fine. So Kenny comes down and he hooks one. I've caught two at this point. And I'm still throwing the damn woolly bugger. And catching them. I end up catching like three more. One rips the woolly bugger off. And then that guy, probably about 15 minutes later after I broke one off, he's like, I'm probably going to move up. Y'all going to have this spot. He's like, there's about 40 fish sitting right here. And I was like, all right, cool. I get down there, and there were probably 100 fish sitting there. And there were 4 good ones. I'm talking like big trout for the Pigeon River. One was just one. I looked at it. Took a couple drifts in front of its face, and I was like, that's an old smart fish. I was like, we're not gonna catch that one all day. I was like, it almost looked like a zombie the way it was moving. You could tell it was just old. It He'd probably seen 1,000 flies. And I'm talking big trout. If I had to guess, it was probably like a 22, 23-inch trout. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, that one's big, but he looks old and smart. Another one comes up, and that one was a little bit smaller. Um, and that one was actually reacting to flies. And there were the whole time still, there were more fish coming in. I mean, yeah, there were probably 100 fish sitting right in front of our face, but there were still fish filtering in and out. I mean, that whole stretch was just loaded. So my buddy he took the high pool above me, and I took the lower one. One whipped, like I said, one broke off my woolly bugger. So finally, I'm like, I'm just gonna start switching it up. If they're eating a woolly bugger that's good, I mean, they're probably chowing. I tie on a Hollow Z midge, just like this one right here, except it was a different color. This is silver. The one I was throwing was like a greenish color. It was a Hollow Z just like that. You can see it. Hollow Z just like that. Um, and I'm just drifting it, and one smokes it, smacks it. It's like, damn, all right. At this point, we probably collectively have caught um, 20 fish. And I was like, damn, we're having a pretty good day. And at this point, I want to say it was probably noontime. And I was like, damn, dude, 20 fish before noon. I was like, we could crack 100 today. Um, and I legit looked up at my buddy Kenny at one point. I said, if we keep catching them like this, dude, I was like, we're going to catch 50 apiece. I was like, if we keep catching them like this, we're going to catch 50 apiece. We're going to walk out of here just grinning, just grinning like a couple kids that had just stole the kid up the road's fucking candy. So, we end up 20 apiece at noon, and I'm like, this is going to be good. This is going to be really good. Haven't even been there an hour. So we keep fishing and just blistering them on everything. Took the Hollow Z midge off. Put on a freaking, put on a damn mop fly. Smoking a mop fly. Um, Took the mop fly off. Tied on a zonker. Smoking a zonker. I'm talking like just ridiculous shit going down. And they were just eating and eating and eating. And it was like that all day. Until we left at 4. I'm talking all day. One spot. But when you're up there, I will be honest, there are a lot of people. A lot. Downstream from us, I looked down at one point and I saw literally 6 guys and a girl shoulder to shoulder. And then upstream from us were two people that were fishing above us. And people above us said they weren't catching them good. And I was like, fucking how? How? I mean, my dog, who was just on right here, could go right there and catch 10 fish in the course of 30 minutes. But yeah, they were kind of they were struggling a little bit. I told them, I was like, hey, come on down here. Like, there's more fish than you can shake a fucking stick at sitting right in front of my feet. But just good fun. I mean, you're never gonna have a bad time when you're catching fish consistently. Um, but I mean, the guys downstream from us, we're kind of down there by a bridge. The people were, it was like six guys and a girl, shoulder to shoulder. I kept looking down occasionally, and they were catching them pretty good from what I could see. Um, but it looked like they weren't catching them kind of how we were, where it was just absolutely blasting them. And we didn't do harm to the fish. Every time I unhooked one, every time I unhooked one for my buddy, you got to wet your hands, pick them up, or keep them in the water, and you release them there. I usually try and keep them in the water, but um, Western North Carolina right now, I'll be completely honest with you. Um, I never saw it fish like this before the storm. Never. I fished a lot before the storm. Um, it is kind of tough right now to go and do some blue lining. Very tough to go do blue lining. Going and trying to catch those native fish. A lot of those places got wiped during the storm. I'm talking wiped. Um, so it is pretty hard to get up there and really do some blue lining to catch some wild fish. But everything else is fishing absolutely stupid. I'm talking stupid. I've never seen anything like it before the storm. Um, even though, even though right there before the storm, me and my little brother had caught 60 fish. I hadn't seen anything like that. I mean, but you know, back to it. The day I said I was going to do it from when I woke up to when we left. So took a little break at about 1 o'clock. I sat down, kind of contemplated. I was like, we got a 2 hour and 45 minute ride home. What time are we gonna get out of here? Didn't really make the decision. I was like, you know what, we'll get out when we feel like getting out. And at that point, when you're just blasting fish like that, it's like, yeah, I don't want to leave anytime soon. We still got a lot of time to fish. I mean, sun's not really going down until 6 o'clock. Yeah, probably 5:30 these days. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess we got until 5:30. I don't really want to be driving home and getting home at freaking like 11 o'clock. But you know, we might end up having to, just because we're having so much damn fun just catching fish. Um, so person at our door. Hope it wasn't somebody like knocking on the door. I can hardly hear somebody knocking on my door. Like, nah, that's behind the apartment. But yeah, nobody knocking at my door right now. But it does seem a little loud outside. But you know, uh, gonna be pretty tough to leave. I'm like, damn, we're freaking catching the piss out of them. And we're catching good numbers and quality. I'm talking like I caught a pretty big brown. Like very, very healthy quality size brown. Um, I'll airdrop it here and then I'll screen share it. Just caught some pretty brookies too. I mean, it's an all around good day. A lot of healthy fish, a lot of good fish. This picture doesn't really do it justice, but here we go. All right, it's airdropped. I hope it lets me screen share this. Preview. Here we go. Look at this. This is pretty good. This is pretty good trout right here. Pretty good brown. Browser needs screen sharing permission. How in the fuck do I do that? Open your computer system settings and click privacy. All right, we're going to do that real quick. On the fly. On the fly. Here we go. Literally, and we're talking about doing shit on the fly. Said open your computer system settings and click privacy and security. Click screen recording and allow your browser to share your screen. All right, we're in settings. Security and privacy. We're getting somewhere here, people. Screen recording. Google Chrome. Oh, it's got to quit. Nah, fuck that. We're on too good of a roll. We're on too good of a roll here. I'll just show you on my phone, and I'll post it on the thing. But this is it. I look like a psychopath in this picture, but as you can see there, pretty good brown right there. Pretty good brown. I wish I could have screen recorded that and just showed y'all right there, but Apple wants to be all woke, and talk about cybersecurity. So, yep, not about that really, but the government can hack your your little computer webcam at any time they want. You could be sitting on the couch ass naked and they can hack that thing. Little weird. I don't sit on the couch half ass naked, but I'll sit on the couch like half naked, just not ass naked, like cheeks out and all. I'll at least have a pair of boxers on, sometimes that just feels good, but yeah, they can hack your shit and you could be taking a piss. I don't know who's going to have their laptop right in front of them while they're taking a piss, but it can happen. I've seen stranger things, but so yeah, I caught that brown. And dude, I mean, those other ones were way bigger. There were 3 of them that were way bigger, and one of them was sitting there, and it was actually reacting to flies. Like my buddy Kenny actually hooked it, and it broke him off. And we're like, oh shit! I was getting ready to run up there with my net and scoop that thing, but didn't get up there in time. Broke him off. And then I had the same thing. There was one down in my pool that ended up turning on it, eating it, and I lifted up like this and popped. I was like, I dropped the F-bomb at the top of my lungs. People that were down below us were staring up at me. I was crashing out in front of their face. But it'd be like that sometimes. It do be like that. Didn't see any little ears around, so it is okay to get upset and drop the F-bomb if there are no little ears around or you're not in front of your boss. Except my boss is pretty chill, so an F-bomb drop in front of my boss isn't that big of a deal these days. He's pretty cool. But yeah, ended up getting to like 4:30 and it was like my buddy Kenny looked over at me. He's like, "You want to get out of here?" I was like, "Shit, I was waiting for you to say it." He's like, "All right, let's go." So we wrapped it up. Ended up finishing the day. I quit counting, but I quit counting at, I want to say, 70 fish. We probably had to have collectively caught between 75 and 90 fish. That's a pretty fucking stout day. That's the best day of fishing I've ever had. I looked at my buddy Kenny during it, and I was like, "This is unbelievable. This is the hands down best day of fly fishing I've ever had." Um, but yeah, we ended up leaving, and and we were getting out of there, and there were some kids that parked up near us that were like, "Did y'all catch it pretty good today?" And we're like, "Yeah, man, we did. Caught somewhere between 75 and 90 fish." And they're like, "Oh man," he's like, "we caught 20 in like a couple hours." It's like, "All right, cool." Um, but it's one of those things. I hate to say it, but I fear that the Situator alpaca haircut boys are making their way over to the fly fishing industry with the squatted trucks and all that good jazz. They need something to do during the duck season splits, and I highly fear that they're taking up fly fishing, which I'm all for. I'm all for other people getting into fly fishing, but just don't act how you do when you're duck hunting, where you set up 10 feet from somebody and shoot swing ducks over their head. But if you follow those simple rules, just be a good dude. Don't be an asshole. Use good judgment. If you follow that, I don't have a damn problem with you. Um, I didn't have a problem with the kids in the squatted truck that pulled up on me. Very good kids. Very very nice people. But I do fear that the squatted truck situator kids are making their way over to the fly fishing sector. And I think that is the last thing we all want. That could be pretty bad. The flat bill kids, they got all the same sick of flat bill with like the digi camo, and they got the hair that comes out to like here. They look like fucking Harpo from The Simpsons, or no, Harpo from The Sopranos. Um, but yep, 75 between 75 and 80 fish out there at the Pigeon River. Um, Western North Carolina is on fire right now, man. Like I go up there every fucking weekend if it wasn't for high gas prices and the wear and tear of my truck. Because it is just so fucking addicting. But got out of there, uh, loaded all our stuff up in the truck, made the 2 hour and 45 minute trek back, made one stop to grab a snack and like a Dr Pepper, and then we got to chugging on down the highway. Good trip. Um, Got to do it again sometime because it is so much fun. Me and my little brother were talking about going up there here pretty soon. So I might be back up there in the coming weekends. Yeah, just all around great day. That's about all I got for my Pigeon River recap. I didn't really visit any shops. Do have one. There is one shop over there in Canton. And I think it's called, what's that place called? Fuck. Um, Let me see. I'm gonna look it up. Um, Canton Fly Shop. Mountain Fly Outfitters. Looks like it's in a pretty cool little area. I wanted to go in there, but on Sundays, oh, they changed the damn hours. It opened up at freaking 2 last Sunday. I wanted to go in there and check it out. Um, but it wasn't open because they said they open at 2, and it looks like a really nice shop too. I wanted to go in there so bad. Um, Mountain Fly Dark Prong Soft Shell Zip Up Jacket. Kind of want to, kind of want to cop that. So next time I'm up in that area, definitely going into Mountain Fly Outfitters. That'll probably also go to a good cause. Right back to the people of Canton. Two nice yellow olive yellow rope hat. That's kind of sick. Mountain fly. I'm gonna go in there and cop that next time I'm out in Canton. But yeah, good day. And I haven't been up to Canton since before the storm. Um, it it was eye opening. If you go up there, uh, it is very eye opening. Very. Um, Almost there are parts where it is tough to see, and like very tough to see. Um, at one point, my buddy who was in the passenger seat looked around. He's like, dude, it looks like we're in a whole different country right now, and it was bad. You could see distinct water lines on the sides of houses. You can see how high the water was up um, over the banks of the Pigeon River. I mean, eye-opening shit. Very eye-opening. Um, Craziest thing I saw was just a refrigerator just out in the middle of the woods. Clearly had been washed up there during the storm. They still got a lot of cleanup to do, so send out your thoughts and prayers to those people in Canton as they still try and recover from Hurricane Helene. Because it was very hard to see. It's like, oh, I said to my buddy at one point, I was like, dude, imagine you're inside of your house and there is so much there's so much water flooding the area that is at your living room window. Uh it's just like it's almost hard to think about because it's like you do get to thinking about it and it's like if you try and put yourself in those people's shoes, you're like, I don't know what I would have done. But like I said, Pigeon River on fire. Western North Carolina absolutely on fire. Um, a little bit later on here in the podcast, I do have some stalking updates. And I'll go more into how on fire Western North Carolina actually is. Because it is. I've been seeing just absolutely massive fish coming out of all these delayed harvest streams. Sorry, a little coffee break, but I saw something on. This is my next segment. Sorry, I didn't even really go into ending that, but yeah, Pigeon River was awesome. Between 75 and 90 fish. I'll be back up there soon, so hopefully in the coming weeks here we'll have a little bit more to talk about on the West Fork of the Pigeon River. That's where I was. Sorry. Um, if I said church and bridge, you'd probably know it was West Fork of the Pigeon River. So the word's out. West Fork of the Pigeon River is good. Did not mean to do that, but so be it. It's delayed harvest stream. Everybody fucking knows about it anyway. But we're gonna go here to something I saw on Facebook. I'm not gonna screen share the whole thing because it does kind of out this fly shop, but I will read it. Why don't I just fucking bring it up on my phone? If I'm not gonna dang screen share it, I might as well just bring it up on my phone and read it to y'all. My phone also has 8% battery left, so here we go. Let's see. It was up on the French Broad River. If you're in any of the uh, fly fishing or trout fishing Western North Carolina pages, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. And I have gone over this stuff multiple times before on this podcast, but here it is. It says, today a guide from blank called the sheriff on me for trespassing on East Fork of the French Broad River. I contended that the water was clearly navigable and therefore subject to public trust doctrine. Fishable by anyone. Uh, Damn, I'm having trouble reading that. I'm gonna go over that. Feel like when 50 Cent called out Floyd Mayweather for not knowing how to read, but here it is. I contend that the water was clearly navigable, therefore subject to public trust doctrine, fishable by anyone. And I entered the water on public land at a bridge. I wasn't sure I was parked on public land, but it was a typical unposted fishing pull-off. Sheriff was very professional. He at first agreed it was navigable and one could fish it if they stayed in the water, as I did. This isn't a story from me, first off. This was a dude named Zach in a Facebook page. This is not a story coming straight out of my mouth. This is somebody else telling this story. So the sheriff was very professional. He at first agreed it was navigable water and one could fish it if they stayed in the water, as I did. He even added that the East Fork French Broad River had been deemed navigable by the Army Corps of Engineers. But the guide convinced him that had changed a few years back during the dispute over the navigability of the Davidson. The guide also insisted that the delayed harvest water does not begin at the bridge, right here, like ncpause.org shows on its map. I'll bring up that map. So, blue circle is, I believe, the bridge that said fella is talking about. So God insisted that the delayed harvest water does not begin at the bridge, like right there, like ncpause.org shows on its map. The sheriff thought DH may start at the bridge, which is delayed harvest, may start at the bridge, but that you would need explicit permission from landowners to fish that DH water. If I'm not mistaken, right there at the bridge, there's a big placard that says the landowner, yada yada yada, this is a trust between NC Paws or NC Wildlife Resource Commission and say this landowner lets you fish here. So from here up to wherever, this is deemed public for anybody to fish. If you go in, you can park right there, and there's a big sign, and it has all the shit right there. I think this is where he is talking about. I've previously fished there before, but yeah, you'd need explicit permission from landowners to fish that delayed harvest water. He goes on, I hated that we were wasting the officer's time, so I left to fish well upstream in the delayed harvest, but promised I would look into it further later. Well, the Army Corps of Engineers does not list the East Fork French Broad River as navigable as of April 2023. See highlighted row on the second image. It's literally right on the bottom, but if I could get it focused. Oh God, I'm not even going to attempt. You have to read it upside or backwards and all sorts of shit. But, so, well, the Army Corps of Engineers does list the East Fork French Broad River as navigable as of April 2023. See highlighted row on the second image. In fact, they deemed it navigable to Buffy's Branch 2 miles upstream where I was. So he was, and it does say right here. Um, State Road 1107, East Fork Road, bridge near Buffy's Branch. So, um, navigable length, it is 2.7 miles, navigable for 2.75 miles. So, here it is. Highlighted second image from Buffy's Branch 2 miles upstream to where this guy was. Um, so, he said this took place in the blue circle where I was showing you earlier. Blue circle. So, it says, it seems the outfitter was selling private water guide trips at a big premium on the purple highlighted stretch, and they were running off other anglers under threat of arrest. Or I should say, this particular guide is. I haven't ever interacted with anyone else from the outfitter. Guide was a real asshole from the start, threatening to send me to jail throughout, super condescending throughout, and I have to believe he knew he was straight up lying. He's a long-time guide and should know better. That said, I'm not going to name him here. Maybe it was just a bad day for him. I know it's probably a stressful time for most guides right now, but I want to put this out here because I want to ensure public rights to waters are preserved, and that purple stretch of water is fantastic. Maybe blank can chime in here and clear the air. Maybe it's not what it seems. That's a lot right there. Um, and I'm gonna weigh in my 2 cents. I see, I see both sides of this argument. Um, like very much so, see both sides. But if it is deemed navigable and public water, like why is there an argument? Why is there an argument? Why are the police like up here talking to people about it's like right there? The guy, literally, the proof is in the pudding, where the guy had gone, and since 2023, Army Corps of Engineers did say it was public and navigable from legit where the guy was fishing Buffy's Branch Bridge up 2 miles upstream. So it is one of those things where it's tough. I mean, this, like I said it when after I went to the Watauga River, however you say it. Um, Private waters is crazy. Like I understand it. I understand why these shops and these outfitters are getting private waters so that they can do private water trips at a premium price, because it's like if you're paying to go and catch fish, like I assume you don't want to mess with the people. You want to, first off, big picture, catch fish and catch a lot of them at that. Um, you don't want to deal with the crowds. Um, and you just want to have a good day where you you have fun, you have a good guide. I've been on one fly fishing guide trip. The rest of it I just do by myself. But the one guide trip I went on, my dang guide was the man. We had a great conversation all day. He wasn't a dick. Um, I kind of just let him do him because I kind of knew how to cast and all that. So he was probably relieved that I wasn't freaking hooking the trees and shit like that. But the one guide trip that I've been on was awesome. I went actually with Brooking Anglers up there in Cashiers. Shout out to that boy Rhett Smith, I believe. If you're ever looking for a good guide from Brookings, I think he works through the Highland shop. But if you're ever looking for a good guide, a good trip, a good dude to have a conversation with, Rhett Smith. That dude, I had a blast with him. Such a cool guy. Told stories about bass fishing when he was a kid. Um, just shared stories the whole ride to there. I think it was a North Georgia private water section. Just a good dude. Had a great time with him. So, Rhett, if you ever somehow hear this, you're a good dude. Hope you've been well, dog. But it like private water, like I said, private water trips, they're for two things. You want to go have a good time, you want to catch fish. Um and right now, some of these places are some of these places have these private water sections, and a lot of them are destroyed. Um, so some of these guys have to kind of push off their private water section and start making their way out to where the common folk fish. Um, but my thing here is, why why are we having arguments like this? Honestly, like, I don't understand. This is just me, a common fisherman, just like everybody. You got a shitload of river to fish. I get it. You want to fish that one fucking spot, but like, you gotta come to an agreement somewhere, whether it's private water or not. I will be calling this section of the French Broad River navigable. You know, whether you like it or not, it's other people fish there. Whether private water or not, I would have come to an agreement with the guide, and I would have been like, listen, I'll go upriver. Um, I'll go upriver. Just, I'll let you be, you let me be. Uh, NC, North Carolina Wildlife, deems this is delayed harvest water. I mean, the dude probably brought up all the documentation that he had, that he put in this Facebook message, or not the Facebook message, the post. Probably brought all that up. But, like, the proof is in the pudding right there. Um, Literally, like, cops don't have to be called in this situation. Literally, come to an agreement. Like, listen, man, I understand you're a guide. Kind of a tough time for y'all. I'll go a mile upriver. If you want to stay here. If I start catching them up there, hell, I'll even come down and I'll tell you I'm catching them, and I'll swap spots with you. Settle it right there. You guys both have a good time. Cops aren't called. Whole nine. Save yourself a lot of fucking time and aggravation. Why that couldn't have happened, I don't know. I don't know. Um, but some people are different than others. But also, from the guide's perspective, I understand. I completely understand. It's been a tough year to be a guide. After all the stuff with Hurricane Helene, and like, a lot of those guys were out of clients and trips for a good month and a half, until they got the infrastructure back up. And some of these outfitters still aren't the same. And like I was saying, some of these outfitters, their private waters are destroyed. So it's hard for them to even go up to their private waters and get away from those crowds, and have their clients have a good time and actually catch fish. Because it's like, if you're fishing delayed harvest water, you're gonna have, any given Saturday, there's gonna be fucking thousands of people out there. So if it comes down to that, and it's like, yeah, there's a bunch of people out there, and you just want to have a place to yourself so your client can have a good time and catch some fish, like, yeah, I understand why a guide would do that, because he wants to have, ultimately, as a guide, those people, like I said, the two things: a good time and fish caught. That's what they're looking for. Beat the crowd. Good time, fish caught. I'd say beating the crowd, like, not beating the crowd, but not fishing a crowded spot, catching fish and having a good time. I'd say having a good time and that fishing without a crowd go hand in hand. And it's hard. It's hard to find a spot where there's not a crowd in some of these delayed harvest waters. So as a guide, I know that guy just kind of wants to have a leg up. Not he wants to fish. He wants to fish somewhere without a crowd, but he really can't. Um, so it came down to that. Like I said, um, why couldn't it have just been handled like I'll go up here, you go down here. If I start catching them, I'll come down to you and let you swap spots with me so your client can have a good time. And we go on our way, you know? I mean, cops didn't have to be called in that situation, but, I can kind of see as a common fisherman myself where right now, especially, really your only option is to fish delayed harvest. You can do a little bit of green lining in places still, or not green lining, blue lining in some places still, but I mean, I see both sides of that argument. I mean, you never want to be fishing shoulder to shoulder with 10 people in a river that's that fucking wide. I mean, well, as like common sense, as the guide should. I mean, you want, like I said, you want your clients to have a good time, so you're gonna do whatever you need to for that to happen. Because like at the end of the day, you're getting tipped off of whether whether your client has a good time and catches a bunch of fish or not. You're getting said anywhere between an extra 80 to 250 to $300 if your client has a good time and catches a bunch of fish. And you're going to go those lengths so that your client has the best possible time. And especially now with everything where some of not delayed harvest, the private waters places are destroyed, and that's not as accessible as it used to be for some of these outfitters. They got to go to the delayed harvest. So I understand both both sides of that. I mean, some people just have to think that those guides, they make their livelihood out there putting clients on fish, and that's what they get paid on, is whether their clients have a good time out there with them and catch fish. So that's my 2 cents about that whole situation. Um, if you do see a guide on your regular delayed harvest waters, don't high hole them. Kind of stay out of their way. I've seen them up there a bazillion times. I'll ask them how they're doing, just have a little conversation with them, but I'm not gonna get right up on them and fish right next to them. I mean, that'd get anyone clapped at, even if you're just two regular ass dudes fishing. I mean, that's gonna piss anybody off. But I don't really side with anyone in this thing. I mean, I think things could have been handled a lot differently on both sides of this little feud, spat, whatever you want to call it. I do think it could be handled a lot different, but at the end of the day, everybody wants to have fun. So let's just keep it that way. There's no need to call the police and get the fucking police involved. It's like we're chasing fish here. Like, come on. I understand. I understand. Like, it's kind of stupid to look at it and be like, okay, I got the cops called on me for what? Fishing? Like, big whoop. You could be up there shooting up heroin. Nah, you're out there fishing. Yeah, you got the cops called on you, but guess what? It is what it is. Let's handle that. Let's handle it like an adult. Just, hey man, I'll go up there, you go up there, I'll stay down here, and we'll bounce ideas off of each other. I mean, it could have been handled just like that. Everybody's happy. You're not wasting the cop's time to have him come out and listen to two sides of a story that at the end of the day is over a fish that has a brain the size of a fucking pea. Like, come on. There's a whole river to fish in, and y'all are fighting over one spot. But like I said, whatever floats your boat. That's about all I have to say about that. Um, but uh, you know, bad like delayed harvest, like I'm saying here. Um, dude, like I said a second ago, I mean, it is fishing out of control. Um, uh, the stocking is crazy. And the fishing is absolutely stupid. If you look at the NC Fish and Wildlife site, or the NC Wildlife Resource Commission site, NCWRC, they have an updated delayed harvest schedule, um, when they're stocking and all that stuff. These these rivers, the delayed harvest streams have been a lot of them have been said to either be getting stocked the week of December 2nd and the 8th, through the 8th. Let me double check that just in case. But I believe I am correct there in saying that they were stocked uh, the week of the 2nd through the 8th. And to be honest, how they're I've heard rumors and stuff like that about how they're stocking and like what kind of like and how they had fish because dude, a massive hurricane just came through and and a lot of these fish hatcheries got wiped out. Not I shouldn't say like wiped out, but um a lot of them took some heavy damage. Um but from what I heard, the ones that the ones that were hit not as hard, that's the key word there, that weren't hit as hard, um still had some fish. There were some good survival rates. But a lot of them, some of the hatcheries, the reason you see so many big fish being caught, like if you go on any of the North Carolina, like fly fishing and trout fishing Facebook pages, you see a lot of big fish getting caught up there. You're, from what I've heard from a lot of people, is most of the big fish that are being caught, have been stocked. They're not holdovers. They have been stocked in there. But these are the fish that remained in some of these hatcheries that were your big female spawners. And a lot of those big fish you're seeing are caught have been the big female spawners that have been sitting in those hatcheries for a while. So they didn't have many fish. Um, Not many of the little fish to stock, but they had those big female stalkers. At the end of the day, a lot of these towns in western North Carolina, a lot of these towns, their economy is their economy is very much so fly fishing driven. Like people will come up there to fly fish, and some people I typically don't, but if I'm going far enough west, I will. These places, um, their economy thrives off of hotels, fly fishermen eating at local restaurants, local fly shops, buying stuff at local fly shops, drinking at local breweries. What drives those people there? Fly fishing. So a lot of these communities, we're going to miss out on a lot of, say, revenue if we weren't going to stock any fish in there. Nobody had anything to fish for, and that's all that they had. Um, so they went and really put in a bunch of time to go and um, stock those big fish in there, and I think it's really a lot of these communities are really benefiting from it. Um, Even like post hurricane, um, a lot of these communities are benefiting from it, not from like a fishing standpoint, but the revenue. I mean, hell, when I was in Canton the other day, I stopped at a little gas station, filled up my truck, went in, got a got a Dr Pepper and some Reese's cups. Um, that's money that those people could use for repairing something in their little convenience store that's been like busted from the hurricane. Um, but yeah, so the big fish that you are seeing get caught from this is allegedly and from what I've heard. This is just not hearsay, but from what I have heard. They are big female spawners that come from these hatcheries. So that's a big thing. But go up there, just witness it for yourself. Like I said, Western North Carolina on fire, freaking on fire. So much fun. Um, I saw it firsthand. Uh, just almost had a wilt day where if you've ever seen the picture of Wilt Chamberlain with the 100 thing, um, like this, we almost had a wilt day. Um, almost had the wilt day. This is what I always post this if I catch 100 fish, which hasn't been in a long time, but um, let's see. Damn, where's a big one? Yeah, here we go. The wilt. Yeah, we almost had the wilt day. Almost. Um, if you don't know the wilt day reference, I will show you the wilt day reference. Here we go. Um, let's see. Come on, share my screen, motherfucker. Here we go. Yeah. So when I say wilt day, um, when I say wilt day, this is what I mean. Right here, 100. We almost had the wilt day. Wilt Chamberlain had 100 points in a game. And then he just held up the number 100 on a piece of paper. Um, I also happen to think that is one of the coldest pictures in NBA history. Um, but yeah, man. So go up there, witness the great fishing in person. Go have you a wilt day. Um, but that's the end of our fly fishing segment. Usually got to get a little bit of college football in at the end here. Tomorrow we got the Army Navy game. Honestly, though, this is going to be first year. The Army Navy game is going to be really good. Both teams had really good seasons. I'm talking Army. Army's freaking good. Navy is decent too. Yeah, I think it's going to be a shootout. But in the end here, Army. I'm taking Army. It's the only game on tomorrow. But yeah, you got the Service Academy showdown. It's going to be absolutely insane game. Both good teams. But yeah, give me Army. Give me Army. No particular reason, but and then also tomorrow night we got the Heisman. I have a little bit more to say about this. Got the Heisman. Who do I think gets it? I think Travis Hunter gets it. Who do I want to get it? Ashton Genty. For some reason, the entire college football space has had an absolutely rock hard, freaking bricked up boner for Travis Hunter all year. Um, don't really see the draw, in my opinion. I mean, is it impressive that he's a two-way player and sees 90% of the snaps, and he saw 90% of the snaps for Colorado's entire team this year. Is that impressive? Hell yeah. But to me, this is just to me. Somebody that probably has a different opinion out there and will probably rip me in the comments. To me, Travis Hunter is not a top 5 player in either of his positions, both sides of the ball. Ashton Jeanty is the best running back in college football. Given he doesn't see 90% of the snaps, but I mean, are we gonna give the Heisman to anybody that has the leading snap percentage in college football for the next 10 years? Because I guarantee you we're going to see another two-way player once Travis Hunter goes to the draft. Or say they take nine. Say the worst worst player in college football next year is a two-way player, but he still sees 95% of the snaps on his team. Or are we just gonna be like, oh yeah, here's your Heisman Award. Like, given that's different. Travis Hunter is a very talented football player, but that's the thing is it's like, are we just going to start giving people a Heisman that see 90% of the snaps on their prospective team, or respective team, I should say. But I want to see Genty get it. I'm not saying that Travis Hunter is not impressive by any means. I think he's a very, very talented football player. I just don't. I just don't see. I just don't see that the reason that he gets the Heisman. Ginty. I mean, I got to look up the exact number, but he is the leading rusher in college football this year, and he's got multiple like he's got so many multiple touchdown games. I didn't want to say multiple touchdown games. He's had multiple touchdowns, I think, in 95% of his games this year. He might have had not had multiple touchdowns in one game this year. Other than that, the dude's been freaking crazy all year. Dude just runs like a pissed off pit bull in a crowd full of toddlers. But yeah, give it to Ginty. That's just my 2 cents. That's just my opinion. But like I said, not saying Travis Hunter's not impressive. I think he is impressive, but at the end of the day, I don't think he is a top 5 player in either of his positions. But you know, um, that's really it. You know, that's it for my Heisman talk. But closing remarks. The end of this, if you like what you're hearing, please feel free to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is Rise Flies CLT. Same thing as my TikTok. Go follow me on the TikTok. Do a lot of little recaps from days fishing. Do a lot of fly tying tutorials. And stuff like that. Cool little content on there. TikTok, it's Rise Flies CLT, spelled like it is right up here. But you know, check them out. We may not have a we might not have a episode next week, an episode I should say. We may not have an episode next week. And if we don't, I might try and get one off quick. But if we don't, everybody have a very Merry Christmas. Spend it with your families. Spend it with your friends. Whoever you spend it with, have a good time with them. Cherish that time. You don't know when the last time you'll have that time with those people. So cherish it. Spend as much time with your family, friends, significant others, whatever you want, whoever you spend your time with, spend it and just enjoy the holiday. And if I don't have another episode before Christmas, like I said, Merry Christmas. Hope everybody gets everything they asked for. Um, Hope Santa brings y'all plenty of flies, some gear. Um, but at the end of the day, if I don't see y'all next week, I will touch base with you guys before I go to Aruba for New Year's. So we'll have a pretty big pretty big episode before I go to Aruba talking about that. We might have an episode in Aruba if I can get my laptop into my carry-on bag. So until the next episode, which is either going to be next week or the week after, go and wrangle some trout, get up to Western North Carolina, just witness that great fishing that's going on up there for yourself. Go spend some money at the local fly shops up there, eat some local food. But until then, go wrangle you some trout. Merry Christmas. Hope you get everything you want. Rise, fly, Charlotte out.